All right, next up, we have x to the power of 27 divided by x to the power of 177. So let's take care of business here. We have a law of exponent that we're going to be applying here, and that's the quotient law of exponents. When we are dividing powers with the same base, x, we are going to subtract those exponents. So everyone, what we have is x to the power of 27 minus 177. And that's all we have to figure out. And so remember, everybody, 27 minus 177 is the same as 177 minus 27. We're just going to make the answer negative. It's the same deal. So from here, check it out. 7 minus 7, that's going to be easy. 7 minus 2, and then 1. So it's a negative 150. So that'll be x to the power of negative 150. Another answer that would be correct, although it's not shown here, would be 1 over x to the power of positive 150. Both of those would be correct, but because B is the only one that shows, B is correct. Which expression is equivalent to 5x to the power of 9, all grouped, squared, multiplied by x to the power of negative 13? Okay, that's a lot, right? This may be a little intimidating, but what I'm going to say here, like I have been saying through any of these problems that you might have seen me solve, is that we just want to take it one law of exponents at a time. One law at a time until it becomes simple. So let me rewrite everything right here. The group 5x to the power of 9, all squared, multiplied by x to the power of negative 13. So first things first, everybody. Let's go ahead here and begin with this. So everyone, when we have the power of a product here, what we're going to do is we're going to distribute the two to the exponents of the 5 and the exponent of the x. So here's what this looks like. I'm going to just take this over here and over here. So we have 5 to the power of 2, and then we also have x to the power of 9 to the power of 2. And I think we know at this point, everybody, when we have a power to a power, what do we do with those exponents again? What do we do with those exponents? We multiply, exactly. So here's what we'll have here. We'll have x to the power of 18. Just from there. And I think we know this one, 5 squared, that's the same as 5 times 5. 5 times 5, everyone, is what again? 25, exactly. We can make this 25. So now that we're here, we have 25x to the power of 18. And don't forget, we have x to the power of negative 13 over here. There are two ways we can handle this, both achieving the same correct final answer. Let me first move this over here, allowing me a little more room. Once I duplicate this over there, booyah. All right, so one way that we can handle this is going to be moving the x to the power of negative 13 down here to make it x to the power of positive 13. That's one way we can try it out. Because if we move that over in that way, all we're applying here is the quotient of powers rule. We have the same base, which is x, so we'll subtract these exponents. Everyone, 18 minus 13 gives us what again? Yeah, that's just going to be 5. Just going to be 5. So that becomes 25x to the power of 5. That's one way of looking at it. Another way of looking at it, allow me to repeat this again. Another way of looking at this is by applying our product of powers law. We are multiplying powers with the same base. And so what we'll do is we'll add these exponents. Everyone, 18 plus negative 13, that's the same thing as saying 18 minus 13. Adding a negative is the same as subtracting. And so what we have is 25x to the power of 5. 18 minus 13 is 5, and so we can get the same correct answer that we did. So the correct answer here, everybody, is regardless answer choice A. Next question up, reading the question sentence, we read that it says, hey, if there are 25 cups of white paint, how many cups of black paint are there? So remember, with any question, we want to start with the question sentence and we see what it is that we're given and the relationships that we have. I noticed the relationship here in the beginning is that we have 25 cups of white paint, but we want to know how many cups of black paint. So that's a comparison. That's a relationship. If we have 25 cups of white paint, that is going to be related to some unknown number of cups of black paint. But the relationship is set. White to black here, and when we take a look at the first sentence, we see it reads, in a paint mixing project, the ratio of cups of white paint to cups of black paint is 5 to 8. So the only thing we really need to be careful of here is the order, because the mistake that we could potentially make is putting the 5 over here, because the 5 represents white. Remember, the order that it's written, it matters. So we see that the first one that we're being told is white, so that'll be 5. So that means we need to go ahead and push that over here. Then on the other side, we want to compare to the cups of black paint. And what we notice is that right over here, the second value is 8. The second term is black. So yeah, that's going to be 8 right over here. So from here, it's pretty rudimentary. We're going to set up our proportion, cross multiply and divide, and we're done. So we'll go ahead and just use B for cups of black paint. So we'll compare 25 to B, 5 to 8, just like that, and then 5 to 8. And then notice a pretty convenient comparison here where I can multiply by 5 right to left, and I'm done. 8 times 5, that gives me 40. So the number of cups of black paint comes down to 40. There we go, and we are good. All right, so let's handle this question up here where the first thing we're going to do, regardless of how easy or hard a question is, again, just to avoid getting tricked by some of the wording of these questions, we're going to start with a question sentence. How much will you spend? Nice and easy. Now, what gets me here in the first two sentences is I notice that it says each chair costs $18 and we need 3 chairs. The big word here that's going to catch my attention is the word each. Because a really common question that a lot of people have is, hey, when I see the word each, am I supposed to multiply or divide? And how do I know? So here's how we know, everybody. When you see the word each, well, it depends on what you're asking for when you have the word each. If you're trying to find the grand total, you're always going to multiply to get to that grand total. If you're trying to find one of the pieces, like the number of chairs or the cost of each chair, you're going to be dividing because it's implied that you're going to have the total. So everyone, when we take a look at this problem here, how much will we spend? Yes or no in your eyes is how much we'll spend similar to being asked for the grand total? Is that similar enough for you? Yeah, I think so too. So this is going to be one of those situations where we can confidently say we're supposed to multiply. We have the cost of each chair, and if we want to find out the total cost of all 3, we're multiplying. So here we have 18 times 3. And then we'll go ahead and just continue with the calculation. 8 times 3, that'll be 24. 1 times 3 is 3. Carry the 2 is 5. And there we are. That'll be $54, making the correct answer here. Answer choice B.